Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to your educational video of the week. This week we're talking about 10 things that deplete or depress your immune system. And I want you guys to really pay attention here because more than half of them are diet related. An overabundance of animal products in the body, eating too much meat, dairy, eggs, fish, will create an acidic environment in the body, and that then creates an immune response that depletes the immune system because the body's constantly on defense. Also, a disproportionate amount of protein, well-balanced meal that has enough of the good carbohydrates and the proteins, you're gonna deplete your immune system because it's really difficult for us to break down animal proteins. You think back to high school chemistry, all right, it requires more energy to break down a chemical bond, to break that bond, than it does to create one. So having too many animal products requires our body to spend a lot more energy breaking the chemical bond of that, let's say, beef protein, to pull out the amino acids that we actually need to use to combine with our own amino acids and create a human protein. So there's a lot more work that goes into that, and that energy then is not available for our immune system to use and keep us safe and clean internally. Sugar is another one. Sugar attacks the immune system by creating kind of a drugged effect on our immune cells. We actually get to a point where our immune cells are so sluggish and kind of act drunk. If you guys get a chance, Google immune cell on sugar or white blood cell on sugar, either one of those. It's really interesting to watch. Also, chronic stress. I mean, stress in general will deplete your immune system because it strips us of our B vitamins that are important to that. But chronic stress in particular, again, puts us in that constant defense mode, and we have to use our immune system ongoing. And eventually it gets tired, it wears out, and becomes depleted. Lack of poor sleep quality. If you're not sleeping well, your body is not getting to a point where it's resting and regenerating, and you really can't do a whole lot as far as repair goes when you don't have the energy there and the means necessary to create that beefed up immune system and give it all the tools that it needs. Consuming processed and packaged foods is probably one of the top immune depressors because we're consuming so many foreign items in those types of foods. All the preservatives and the chemical additives that are put into that are extremely difficult for our bodies to break down, and often many of them are toxic, and so again, we're creating an immune response and putting the body on defense mode where it doesn't have time to rest. It's constantly fighting that off, and it just gets tired. Caffeine is another one. It triggers the immune system by causing the adrenals to work overtime. And that tells our body that we're in a fight or flight response. And that makes our body get ready for defense. And so it's always on. Again, there's a pattern here. It's always on, never gets to rest. All right, chronic exposure to toxic chemicals. Again, this is kind of like with the processed packaged foods. If we're constantly being exposed to these particular kinds of foods, we're not actually producing, or that's not the right way to say that. We're spending too much time trying to defend our body against these toxins that are invading us and not giving the body a chance to rest. I know you guys are seeing a pattern here. All right, dehydration. If we're dehydrated, the body doesn't have enough fluid to take those toxins through the elimination process and adequately get them out of our bodies. Hydration is so important to so many things, but particularly our immune system, because your lymphatic fluid has to be the right consistency. The blood has to be the right consistency to flow through the body effectively and be able to get all the things that need to be absorbed and transported and utilized where they need to go, as well as getting all the waste out and getting that to the waste elimination part of the body so that it can be removed. A great way to tell if you're well hydrated. Couple of ways. Number one, look at your eyes. directly around the outside of the colored part of the eye, the iris, is a ring that corresponds with higher brain function. And one of the first things to go when we're dehydrated is higher brain function. So if there is a dark circle around the outside of the colored part of your eye, that's an indication that you're dehydrated. Next, turn around, look in the toilet. All right, if your urine is a dark color, has an odor, you're dehydrated. Your kidneys are working really hard to get rid of everything, and they don't have enough of the right equipment to do it. Also, when you move your bowels, turn around and look. All right, a healthy poo is a good indication that you're well hydrated, because if there's enough water to help push it through the intestinal system, then there's enough water in the body. So a healthy poo should be one long log. It should be light brown in color. It should not have a lingering odor. It should float, and it should break apart when you flush. All right, last thing is pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are notorious for depleting us of vitamins and minerals, pulling out hydration from the body, and adding in toxic chemicals. All of those things are already listed up above, but medications are really bad for this. We get a kind of Band-Aid effect from them often, but never any real healing. It's really rare for me to find someone who was taken off of their medications and didn't make any dietary or lifestyle changes to correct the cause of the symptoms that required them to be on the medication. So that's it for this week. There's your 10 immune depleters. How many of those are actually part of your lifestyle? Take a look. How many can you eliminate this week? Tell me about it on Facebook. All right? Until next time, guys, have a great week.